At Ames, they've actually developed some microbes using soil samples from some of the lunar soil samples to develop concrete. We use as the standard, I want to say it's Portland cement. And so far, they've actually produced from microbes, from bugs, concrete that is as hard, as stable as something that's been produced by a cement company. They also produce artificial meats, artificial food, but they start from a microbe, from a living organism, and they use genes and everything else to produce something that can be done. The reason we need to be able to do that is because the less weight you have to carry to Mars or the moon or somewhere else, the better off you are. So if we can just carry just the basic essentials and then get there and use the microbes. That's why one of the reasons that Curiosity is looking for any evidence of microbes. If they're there, we don't even have to carry the microbes. You get there, you use the microbes, you use the Martian soil, you can produce building materials, you can produce food, you can do everything.
You're less dependent of the planet Earth, so we can use it.
So there may be a construction.
That's a very thing there.
Hey guys, we've got time for one more question.
Okay, you had your hand up, and then I'll take two.
Okay.
Jason will let me take two.
I had read somewhere that there was talk of building a spaceport here. Is that still on the table?
This is the world's, I don't want to say largest, I think it is. This is what people consider to be a spaceport. I know what you're talking about. There is talk about building a commercial spaceport on the property here.
Right.
The state of Florida, Lieutenant Governor Carroll, I got a letter, Secretary LaHood from the Department of Transportation got a letter from her asking if we would consider the excess of property here on the Kennedy Space Center that we no longer need. The SLF, for example, the shuttle landing facility. Since we don't have a winged vehicle that lands anymore, NASA really has no need for an airport. And my desire would be to find someone who wants to preserve the SLF as an operational airport, spaceport. And the state of Florida, I'd be happy if the state of Florida would do it. When we land at Edwards Air Force Base, it doesn't belong to NASA. It belonged to the United States Air Force, so we landed on that. When I was still active in the astronaut office, I didn't fly out of a NASA airport. I flew out of Ellington Field in Houston, and that never belonged to NASA. It used to belong to the Air Force, then it went to the Air National Guard. Now it belongs to the city of Houston. So there is no need for NASA to own an airport. And the state of Florida said, hey, would you all be willing to consider accessing that property to us? I can't tell you what the answer is going to be. I can tell you what the administrator would like, but I don't make the laws, and it has to go, we'd have to get approval through Congress and all kinds of stuff. I am hopeful that we'll be able to do it. And I think they're also trying to get permission to build another launch site, strictly commercial, up toward the north end of the property. Mm-hmm. And my understanding is that's been through a lot of environmental battles before, so I don't know where they are, to be quite honest. And this is the last one.
So my son right now is 2.
Yep.
Do you think he'll be the right age to go to Mars?
Yes. Anybody who is younger than I am is the right age to go to Mars. And I'm 66. And the reason I say I could do it, I could do it. But let's say, and I'm trying to be realistic. Realistically, because I think NASA can rise to the occasion. The president has told us he wants humans on Mars. You got to remember what on means. On is a relative term. It may be, what we're trying to do is put together a plan to get humans in the Martian environment sometime between 2030 and 2039. How many years from now is it? That's 18. I could still fly. But it's a long mission, and I'm not sure that somebody that's hypertensive, I have high blood pressure and I use medication. I'm not sure that flight surgeons would let somebody who's hypertensive go on an 8-month mission to Mars unless I signed something that said, don't worry about me, I'll be all right, which I can do. But anybody, seriously, I think, your son is right. He won't even be ready to fly yet when we go to Mars. He's still got a lot of education. Thank you all very much. You've been great. Enjoy yourselves tonight. Hopefully we'll get off. If we don't, then try it tomorrow night. That way? That way. Wow. Take care.